Hello, everyone. Good morning. Dobré ráno for those of you coming from or joining from Czech Republic and Slovakia. I'd like to welcome you on our webinar on Arista Networks. My name is David Čermák. I'm a technical director of Prozeta, and I would like to welcome Patrickem Pranglem, a system engineer of Arista Networks. Hi, Patrick.
Hi. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Time is precious. We actually decided to have only 30-minute sessions. This is the first one, and so I would like to cut things short. Let's go straight to the topic. I would like to welcome Surya Neoji as well. Surya is channel manager of Arista Networks for Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Russia. Is that correct, Surya?
Yes, and thank you, David, and thank you for inviting me to the webinar. I'm very happy to be here, and hopefully we have a lot of interesting things to say, both Prozeta and Arista. So thank you for your time, everyone.
Yeah, I see quite a lot of attendees joining as we speak. So let's go straight to the point. Patrick, Arista is on the market more than a decade. It's a quite well-known name. You, from the market share perspective, you are actually number one. You sell more 100 gig ports than any of your competitors. Can you give us, very short introduction into, into Arista as such? Can you tell us, what its role on the market?
Yeah, sure. So let me just share my screen. So basically, what is Arista? Arista is mainly, or was mainly, known for its kind of role in the data center market, data center networking market. And I mean, here you can see a few numbers, revenue, EPS, margin, and so on, and our management team, nowadays wearing masks, of course. The more interesting stuff is that we are recognized by Forrester as the leader in the quadrant. And that's really, I think that says a lot, right? Arista Networks provides an open programmable switching fabric. And that's exactly what we are about, right? It's not only a switching fabric nowadays. We have a lot of more stuff on the market, but we are kind of known for our open programmable stuff, right? So we believe in being open, following standards, not being proprietary, even when it comes to ASIC. We are using merchant silicon, not our own stuff, have an open flexible fabric, and it's all about quality. And you just mentioned it. We are leading the 100G market share. So basically, when you have a look at that picture, you can see we have around 30% of the 100G share. And that kind of statistics are from Del Oro from Q4 last year. And the number is quite the same like the rest of the market. And here you can see some other competitor and white box switches. And what that says is when we go to the right side, you can see the forecast of long-term Ethernet switching bandwidth. And you can see that the lower speeds, right, 10G, 1G will kind of deplete and decrease until 2025. And 100G, 400G, and even 800G will start growing. And I think that says a lot about Arista because we are very innovative. And based on our market share, you can, I think, make the math yourself where we will be in a few years, right, based on the market share.
These numbers, they look quite interesting. So why do customers choose Arista in the first place? What are the main benefits? What drives customers towards you?
I think mainly quality, right, and the support. I tend to say it's easy to replace Arista, right, because we are open, we are standards-based. But the reason why customers don't do it is really about quality, right? So we try to satisfy the customers based on our quality on the stuff we are providing instead of locking kind of customers in. And how do we achieve that? And why customers choose Arista is basically we have a modern operating system, our EOS. It's really state-based, it scales, it's really tested a lot, right? We have a lot of ongoing tests automated tests in our test bed before we're releasing stuff, right? So basically that's one thing, right? The quality of our operating system. We have one automation tool. So Cloud Vision is kind of the single pane of glass. Doesn't matter if it's for telemetry, for analytics, configuration management, we have one software. And it's not only one management system, it's one operating system. So it's a single operating system across all of our platforms. It doesn't matter if it's a chassis, if it's a fixed box, if it's a PoE campus box, or if it's a data center box, right? And I think lastly, what I also have to mention is kind of our support. It's really brilliant. Also, that's the feedback we get a lot from our customer. And why does it just work, right? I mean, every vendor is claiming that the operating system is super cool and it's working so smooth. Why it really works at Arista is that we have one code version across all of our products, as mentioned, right? We had 8 software regression bugs since our beginning, right? So over the last 12 years, and 2 of our security advisories required reboot, right? And the rest was kind of patchable during normal operations because of our system architecture. And quality is not just something we put on our slides. Quality is kind of a lifestyle or a kind of way of doing, if you want to call it like that. And regarding to Ken Duda, who is our CTO, quality is not just an attribute, it's the most important attribute of our products. And how do we achieve that? As mentioned, we are really thoroughly testing our software, and we have about 70K of automated tests per day. We're testing every feature on every code version on every product which is currently supported. And that's how we achieve quality. And I think our customers really like that about us.
I know that Ken Duda offers his cell phone number to customers.
Yeah.
Actually, come across in the bug that it's not, fixable by the support in a timely manner. You can call Ken Duda, right?
Yes.
And it never happened.
So yes, true. Yeah.
Never happened. Okay. Let's say, even from my personal experience, I know that, the software quality is, quite high, and the software quality assurance is the main topic in Arista. But, how can one measure? Because look, quite a lot of vendors, they talk about software quality. Is there any way how the customer can measure the quality of the operating system and the product as such?
Yeah, sure. Right. I mean, it's, as you said, it's one story that the vendor tells you. It's another story to really have that experience by yourself. So basically, how can a customer kind of measure that? First of all, I would recommend get your hands dirty, get a free arista.com login, download our virtual EOS lab software, and play around in lab. Right. That's one way to get a feeling for that. The other thing I want to show you is that's our tech statistics. So we are not hiding our statistics, and that are kind of the tech cores per 100 switches in average. And we have about 7 cases per 100 switches. And now customers would say, hey, but that's not that low. True, but the thing is that out of that 7 service requests, 4 of them are general questions where customers reach out and say, hey, how do I configure that feature? Or, I have a question regarding some technology, or how is that working? How should I do that, right? And the other 3, and that's more than 50% of the cases, and the rest are hardware RMAs, when optics get broken or when hardware fails power supplies, I mean, that could happen. And the rest, it's really 1 out of 7, that's a software defect, right? And what we have to state here is that one case in 80%, we know that defect already. It's a known issue, and it's already solved, and the customer has hit it because, customers sometimes are not always updating to the latest code. I mean, that's also, based on operational stuff. About 80% of those software defects are already known. I think that's a quite nice statistics. But when we have a look at the NPS, the Net Promoter Score, right? We have basically the NPS score for those guys who are not used to that. Over 76 means it's a world-class support, right? And we are here, right? So we are in the upper level of support, right? And that's really because when you call Arista Tech, you don't get to a hotline and you have to explain 5 times what your issue is. You get to the tech engineer, right? The guy who is really troubleshooting with you and solving the problem with you and getting all people together to solve that problem. And I think that that's really amazing that we have that score. And another thing, and that's the last one, which I want to mention, is how can you measure quality? I mean, basically, not every bug is a security vulnerability, but every security vulnerability is a bug, right? And that statistics is from the CV database, right? So that's not coming from Arista. You can, all of you guys can go to some CV databases, right, and search for EOS, iOS, and whatever there is out, right? And what you will see is that the kind of less affected software from any other vendor has 10 times as much security vulnerabilities as we have, right? And I think that says something about quality, right, in terms of architecture, testing, and how we tackle things, right? And that's also one kind of measurement method, how you could estimate the software quality upfront.
These are quite convincing numbers. Seems like you are going to make lives of network managers way easier. Patrick, before I ask you another question, I would like to mention that this is an interactive webinar. So I would like to ask attendees, ask questions. We will have 10 minutes at the end of the session to answer some of those. So please ask questions. Not just questions. If you have any topics you want to cover in the next webinars, there will be other webinars with Patrick and likely with other members of Arista team in coming weeks and months. So we would like to know what are the topics you want us to cover. And Patrick, so quality is one aspect. Seems like cloud vision is another key technology that can make lives of network managers easier. Can you tell us a little about cloud vision? What is the product? How customers can use it?
Yeah, sure. So basically our Cloud Vision is our management system, single pane of glass. It's just an overview. You know, there is a lot of stuff I can tell you about Cloud Vision. So if you're interested in that, schedule a follow-up session with David and myself or someone from Arista. Basically what we are capable of doing and where we are really well known for is our real-time telemetry. So we don't believe in SNMP anymore. That's kind of legacy, that's old school. I mean, we still have SNMP support if customers need it, but we tend to use real-time telemetry because we are streaming everything out of the box in our management system so that you have a real-time monitoring system. Of course, we do some correlations, trend analytics based on the telemetry data we have. So I would say that's kind of one key differentiator. And the other aspect is really about configuration management. Doesn't matter if it's zero-touch provisioning, kind of you're able to plug the power connector into the switch comes up and provisions it itself with Cloud Vision. We have a really cool change control feature set, 4 eyes principle and all of that stuff, which is really awesome. So have a look at that as well. And of course, compliance and risk management. And we have kind of unique selling points all over the places here where we are really differentiating from the competition. So we are not only displaying you bugs or CVs, right? We are really checking not only on software, on the hardware device model, we also check if there is a bug on BGP, for example, and you're not running BGP, there is no reason to waste your time on displaying that, right? I mean, you still can have a look at the complete list, but we won't show it in the first step in the management system. So that's really a cool thing, right? And it's kind of the management tool for all of our products. It doesn't matter if you're going for a campus deployment, data center deployment, peering, service provider-ish type of deployment. It's the same Cloud Vision software. Even for Wi-Fi, it's integrated in our Cloud Vision, right? So the thing is, we have Cloud Vision, right? And basically, you can use it with other stuff like Ansible. So we have an integration there. You just can use Ansible. So basically, it's an advantage to use it, but it's not like that we are saying, hey, it's only Cloud Vision and forget about the rest. We love to being open, right, and integrate with other stuff. So that's just one kind of slide I want to share you on possibilities you have, right? So we see Cloud Vision also as a part for more advanced automation use cases, right? And that's really awesome because as we are open in our software and open with Cloud Vision in terms of API and so on, you can pretty much integrate it to everything which is out there in terms of CI, CD, and so on.
And do a lot of customers use Cloud Vision these days? Because, you know, from my experience, I know not many customers are really using management softwares, management tools from the same vendor. They are using the gear in the network. They usually use third-party management tools. So how is it with you?
Yeah, so from my experience, a lot of customers are using Cloud Vision, right? Some customers, and that's just a excerpt of our customers where we have public references. And those guys, we have it in Israel, we have it in Germany, we have some in Austria, and in Italy, of course. And I just picked 4 out of those customers. And those guys are using Cloud Vision either as a kind of turnkey solution, standalone, or integrating it with Ansible or Puppet or some other stuff. Some customers use more a GitOps-based approach to configure stuff and have Cloud Vision more for telemetry. So basically, it's really dependent on the customer needs, how we kind of set it up and how we provide it. But yeah, I see Cloud Vision being deployed at many customer sites.
You just mentioned Wi-Fi and campus. So Arista is no longer just the data center player. You have products in the security space, campus, Wi-Fi. Can you tell us a little on that part of your business?
Yeah. That's a really brilliant question. So basically, I mean, Arista is highly known in the data center market, as you said. But since some years, we are kind of expanding our portfolio. We started with the acquisition, of the Switch networks to have our DMF, our monitoring fabric. We have acquired Mojo Networks to have a really strong Wi-Fi portfolio, and we are now also in the campus, right? So basically, all of those boxes, right? Doesn't matter if it's the 7050X3, which you might know from some data center deployments, or the 720, 750 boxes, the kind of fixed or modular PUE switches. Basically, everything is running the same software, right? So from a look and feel, it's basically the same. It doesn't matter if it has PUE ports or not. And we have a lot of cool stuff in the campus, all of the campus features, of course, .1x, everything which is needed. And on top of that, we have really some nice other stuff developed over the last years, where we can do Wi-Fi contract tracing, for example, very important now in those COVID days. We also can do quality of experience measurements over the Wi-Fi. So basically, if you're interested in campus, we should definitely have another session on that, because there is a lot of stuff going on there and a lot of cool integrations. I just want to teaser something. Basically, what we have is, we are not a firewall vendor, but we like to integrate with other guys, as I have mentioned already. So we have several integrations, and we believe in that zero trust architecture and segmentation. Of course, we can do segmentation based on EVPN and VXLAN. I think that's what Arista is also known for in the market, but we have also strong integrations with Palo Alto, Fortinet, and Checkpoint, for example, where we can offload security policies to our switches, or we have integrations with NSXT. And now new and already shipping is MSS Group, where we have a group-based multi-domain segmentation in the campus environment, right? And we have a strong integration here with ForceCode, which is our identity manager, where you can configure policies, who is allowed to talk with whom, and basically we enforce that on our switches. And the cool thing all over here is that it's standards-based and it's not proprietary, and it will it's easy to integrate with other stuff as well, right? So you're not locking yourself into kind of Arista. We are still open, and you still can use third-party devices. And the last thing I want to mention is that's our newest acquisition, right? Awake Security. So now Arista is also a player in the NDR, network detection and response area. And that really fits also very well in our portfolio because, we have the sensors which could be fed by our DMF fabric or span tap ports, and we can do some AI-driven analysis and ask kind of the network questions and kind of provide a platform for a high-fidelity threat hunting as well. And that's also pretty cool. So if you have interest in that one, just reach out to us, right?
Seems like we can have one webinar on every slide you show here.
Yeah, sure.
Patrick, I just want to ask attendees, ask a question. We already have a couple questions, so I have questions I'll ask you in a couple seconds. Tell me one thing. Do you have my last question actually is, do you have any work in progress you can disclose? Any interesting project you just finished or you are working on currently?
Yeah, sure. So basically what I'm currently working on is a storage network where a customer is building up a Ceph cluster or a network for a Ceph cluster. And we use our debuffer machines here to provide lossless transport. I also have a project or some project in the Czech Republic based on campus and internet peering. And I also have a CVP project right now where we deliver Cloud Vision for a customer in Vienna. Of course, there are a lot of other projects as well, but I think that's a nice excerpt of the stuff.
Yeah, and many of them you cannot disclose even.
Yeah.
Let me ask a couple questions. How Arista addresses security in its products?
Yeah, so that's a pretty nice question. We like to say that we don't build security products, we try to build secure products, right? So first of all, we use a standards-based Linux in our operating system. So basically we have the advantages of the community fixing things really fast, right? So basically there is a lot of exchange between us and the community going on. So that's kind of one thing. The other thing is we use standards-based Linux, so everyone can have a look at the source code. It's basically available for everyone. And the architecture allows us to be patchable, right? So if there are security vulnerabilities, I mean, we don't have a lot, but we have some, right? It's easy to patch them and without a reload. Because I think that's annoying as a network engineer when a CV is released and I have to schedule a maintenance window and do the reboot for just the security vulnerability. And that's kind of one thing. The other thing is, as I have shown you, we believe in that zero trust strategy, right? Where we have different technologies and stuff available to achieve security and segmentation, right?
Patrick, another question: how customers can try demos or proof of concepts? What's the procedure? What are the options with Arista? So
basically, also a great question. Everyone can go to arista.com, download the virtual image for free, right? You don't need to be a customer. You just need to sign up, right? And you can try it in your lab. Just play around and so on. If you're really interested in having some on-site gear or a more detailed demo, more detailed intro, I think reach out to us, right? Prozeta is a nice partner here in the Czech Republic. So reach out to those guys, reach out to us, and I think we can take it further on there. And we can do a demo. We can also provide you more virtual labs. There is the Arista test drive where you can schedule your own labs. virtual ATT. I think we can provide the link afterwards, and you can go on, just log in, schedule a, maybe a layer 3 leaf-spine topology based on EVPN. We host that for you in the cloud, so you don't need any resources. I think we have a bunch of options here. I think best would be reach out to us, and we can take it further from here.
Yeah, we are actually going to do this as a follow-up of this webinar. We can share links for VEOS and ways how to do this with the attendees. I have a question. What are the best-selling products? Because you have quite wide portfolio these days. So what you can say about the best sellers?
Oh, I mean, that's a hard question. What is best selling? I think for sure the 7050s, that's kind of I would say the de facto standard box, right? Cello buffers, wide set of features, a pretty nice box, Trident based. Of course, also the depending on the use case. For campus, we have our PoE switches, which are really selling well. The 7280s, when you have some service provider use cases, if you need MPLS segment routing or deep buffers, that's also selling very well. So I think that's kind of mainly the boxes which I see sold the most. Right?
Surya, what do you would add to our session?
No, look, I think firstly, we are, I believe, at a very, very exciting point in Arista, because right now we already have the leadership in data center business. But at the same time, our acquisitions, the solutions that we are proposing, we are no longer a data center vendor, right? We are almost, let's say, a cognitive cloud solution provider. I would look at it this way, and this has two implications. Yeah, one is, both of which are positive. So one is we are targeting new business and new customers, for which the channel is very, very important. Otherwise, if we do not have the channel, we cannot really scale up, right? And also in campus business, the channel is very strong. The market is primarily going through distributors and resellers, right? So we need to sort of enable our channel in the right way, like webinars like this, whereby we can really increase our footprint in countries where we are not doing that much business. Yeah, so we need a group of strong partners, strong distributors, and sort of so that we can do much better than we have been doing. So I am personally very, very excited. I am personally very motivated to, let's say, look at this part of the business as well. And the shift because before we were obviously selling to the cloud titans, a large part of the business was in US. But, as we proceed, I see the pipeline building up, particularly in not only in the bigger, let's say, single European countries like UK, France, Germany, but we are also building up the pipeline in all other countries. So all around, we are doing pretty well. So I'm very excited, and this is my feeling where we are at this stage.
Yeah, we see the same thing, Surya, here. And thanks for talking about channel. We Patrick are going to cover other topics, in next webinars. I got quite a lot of other questions I'm not going to ask, because we are already on the 29th minute of our webinar. Patrick, can you say last word?
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in hearing more, just reach out to us. As Surya said, I mean, we are just in the beginning in certain areas. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up this year, right? We were the first one shipping 400G, for example. Stay tuned, there is more to come, right? We have a lot of stuff we can talk about in different verticals, on different stuff. I think the main point is, we try to make your lives easier and not harder, and try to deliver quality, not proprietary stuff, be open, We love technology. We are a tech company by heart, a software company. So if you're interested, get your hands dirty. I just can encourage everyone, use the demos, use the virtual images, play around with it, get in touch with us. And yeah, I think we can take it from there. And I hope everyone enjoys the Arista experience after the demos.
Thanks much, Patrick. Thanks much, Surya, for joining us. Thanks to all the attendees for joining us. Please do come to us if you have any questions, any inquiries on Arista. We are Prozeta is a partner of Arista in many countries in Central Eastern Europe. We are Arista partner for more than 80 years, I can say. I cannot even count that. So I'm looking forward to talk to you again, to you, Surya, you, Patrick, and to you, all the attendees, and looking forward to the next webinar.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.